Laura Toomey and I'm the director of The Breadwinner. The Breadwinner was very much a team effort, with artists and collaborators contributing from all over the world over the course of months and years. Behind the scenes, our production team kept everything organised and made sure that all our work gets done. The storyboarding process is where the script becomes a film. We draw out every scene in rough panels and then we cut them together with temporary voices to make sure the characters and stories really work on screen.
I'm Kieran Duffy. I was the head of backgrounds on The Breadwinner. Colour script is where the colour scheme for the whole film is planned. Background elements are painted by hand before being assembled on computer, which allows us to work quickly and with more control. The overall aesthetic we were going for was something that was naturalistic in the real world and very illustrative and dreamlike in story world.
My name is Reza and I'm one of the art directors on The Breadwinner. So I was just putting myself in the characters when they were described by Nora or in the scripts. So after it was a technical matter to make it more presentable in animation wise and make it more animatable. This one for the main characters was more like a challenge because of their features and face for turning around and make them more easy for the animators to understand the characters.
I'm Mark Mullery, Technical Director on The Breadwinner. We have over 100 artists spread out over 3 countries. To keep ourselves organised, we use a production management software called Shotgun. This allows us to review any artist's work from anywhere in the world, as well as give feedback. To make the world we created feel rich and populated, we used computer animation to build crowds of people. A small team of artists worked to make each of the background characters feel alive, but not take focus away from the main characters.
Hi, I'm Fabian Erlinghäuser and I'm the animation director on The Breadwinner. Nora acted out each scene in the film to give the artists a pretty accurate reference for the acting. It's really helpful for figuring out how the characters should move. Before the animation starts, we make roughly 3 drawings per scene to show what the character should do. This gives the animator a better idea of the character's feelings and how this scene should be approached. A rough animation is the stage where the animator starts to bring the characters to life with quick rough drawings to figure out the broad movement. At that stage, it's not really about tidy drawings, but about the general movement. Once the acting is approved, it's time to tidy up those rough drawings. This is so they can be painted easily and to make sure that the characters are in the correct style for the film. Adding shadows to the characters makes them fit better into the environment. This makes them more dimensional and really helps to bring the characters to life. There's much more to colouring the characters than meets the eye. We use specific colours to guide the audience and make every scene as clear as possible.
Hi, I'm Lorraine. I'm the animation director on the story world sequences on The Breadwinner. Our goal on the story world sequence was to create a contrast between that world and the real world. We worked with a paper artist to figure out how light works with paper, how paper feels when it's animated, and to help design the look of the story world. It was a real challenge to reproduce the look of paper in a digital software. During animation, we built in the kind of imperfections that might appear naturally in a handcrafted animation. Compositing is where all the elements finally come together, from animation to backgrounds to lighting effects.
So in terms of the process of animation, first we have the storyboard pass where we make very rough drawings, scene by scene, of the entire film. Then we move on to layout where we have clean drawings of the background environments and a few poses of the characters. Then we have rough animation where the animators work out all the acting for the characters. And then we have clean animation where we clean up with one single line around the characters and make sure that they look the same from scene to scene. Then we have effects animation. Here we have the tonal shadows on the characters drawn in. And then we have ink and paint, where we ink the characters and paint all their interiors as per their model sheets. And then we have the final composite, which the characters look like they're part of their environment and everything blends in. That's it. So for scenes like this, we would have acted everything out first, and the reason for that is because you have a room full of a lot of characters. We want the audience's eye to go from one character to another quite naturalistically, so we acted out in terms of what character moves first and then what character moves next. We also want to understand the physicality of the characters as much as we can, so that helps the animators then to kind of make decisions in terms of the character's weight, etc. So these scenes, which are Piranha's story, for this we wanted to get a different style of animation, so we based it more on kind of theatre work. So rather than the very subtle performances that we have in Piranha's real life, when she tells her stories, the characters are much more literally animated, I guess, so their actions are much broader. It's kind of a theatre style of acting. So in the final stages of this, when we put it all together, and together with the lighting and the textures, we wanted to look like it's layers of paper, so that it looks very physical, like you could almost touch these layers of paper on the screen. So I hope this has given some insight into the many hands that are behind an animated feature like The Breadwinner.